So here's the story from the Bible that you are going to hear about today. It's about a man named Abram and a man named Lot. Now, Abram was rich, like really, really, really rich. Now, rich in Abram's time, though, didn't mean he had a huge bank account filled with money. It meant he had servants, sheep, camels, cows, and even goats. Told you, rich. Now, years before, Abram's nephew, named Lot, had come to live with Abram. Lot became quite rich as well with, servants, sheep, camels, cows, and yes, goats. So, let's do a quick review, shall we? We've got two men, Abram and Lot, and both were very rich. Now, each spring, many more animals were born and added to the herd, which means more, and more, and more, and more, and more sheep and other animals were added to the herd. Now, both Abram and Lot's herds grazed on the hillside together. The problem is they kept growing and growing and growing and growing, leaving very little room left for all of the animals to use the land together. Abram's servants and Lot's servants began arguing over the land where the animals grazed. Abram's servants wanted the best land, but so did Lot's servants. Now, Abram heard all this arguing going on between the servants, and he knew that these arguments had to stop. So Abram thought and thought and thought and thought, and he came up with a good idea. It was time for Abram and Lot to go their separate ways. The question then began, where would Abram and Lot go? You see, they had two choices. They could go east or they could go west. But the thing is the east had the better land. It was absolutely beautiful, and it had the Jordan River right there. The east was the land that wanted to be picked. Now, Abram could have said, I want to pick my land first. But he didn't say that. Instead, he said, Lot, you go ahead and pick your land first. Well, Lot decided to be very selfish and said, I want the east. So, that's what happened. Abram and Lot headed in their separate directions. Now, once this happened, God talked to Abram and told him to look north, south, east, and west. God promised Abram that all the land that he could see would belong to his children and grandchildren. Now, you may ask, what does this have to do with love? But if you think about it, Abram showed love to Lot by letting him choose the land first. You see, Abram could have just said no. He could have said, I want the east land. He could have been selfish. He could have tried to be number one. He could have tried to get the good land. But instead, he showed the love of Jesus to Lot. And that's the story of Abram and Lot, and how even though that there was conflict going on between them, Abram showed love to Lot and let him choose the better land when they separated.
Created using Powtoon.